Hello, officially welcome to my YouTube channel. I have posted videos before, but they weren't particularly very good. And this video is just going to be about why you should follow me if you do any sort of crafting or, you know, things like that. So I've basically, to start off with, I have been sewing since I was 6, knitting since I was 7, and crocheting since I was about 8. So I'm 16 now, which means I have quite a lot of experience, you could say. I'm still not very good because I took a break for a long time and now I can't stop. So I've got my phone here to kind of remind me of what I'm talking about. I don't remember learning to knit or to sew. I just remember that I knew how, and I mean, I know that I used to knit a lot of scarves for my Barbies, and I made a pumpkin one year. It was, I don't have a picture of it because, you know, it was 9 years ago, but I basically made a rectangle, sewed up the top, sewed up the bottom. That was a pumpkin. Very good. The first thing I actually remember knitting was a little thing that I made for my gran, and I took it on holiday, and we were on holiday for 7 days, and it took me the full 7 days. So that tells you how experienced I was back then. But it was really cute, and she really loved it. Basically what it was 2 squares for the head, 2 squares for the body, and then 4 folded up rectangles for the arms and the legs. And I mean, you can see that I know how to sew because that's the best part of the whole thing. But I think it's quite cute still now, even though with 7 more years of experience, 9 more years of experience, I still think it's really cool. And then when I learned to crochet, I started off, I was gonna make a blanket. I learned how to make a granny square, and I made a granny square. To be fair, it was about, but then I ran out of wool, and then I ran out of patience, and then I stopped, and I didn't start again until 2021, which was fun. And now the first thing I remember making for 2021 was, it was Halloween. I wanted to make a pumpkin. My sister was like, oh, that's cute. So I was like, I can make you that. I can try. And to be fair, I love it. Although, that's a lie. The first thing I came back to crocheting was a unicorn. I don't have a picture of a unicorn, but I have a picture of the pattern. And it was literally just out of lockdown, and I didn't know how to do magic circles. So every time I started a leg or a head or I was like straight round to my grandparents. And I was like, Granny, I need your help. I can't do it. And I'd cry and she'd help me and I'd forget. So thanks to her. But anyway, the pumpkin, I think it was a free pattern on Lovecraft. I don't even know if it still exists, but I thought it was very cute. Because I mean, look at it. Anyway, yeah, it's like neon orange. That wool is neon orange. I don't know if anyone used to buy, I used to buy all my wool from Mariners, who don't exist anymore. So yeah, it's very bright, very vibrant, very cute. Don't wear it anymore because I gave it away. So as well, in lockdown I made loads of narwhals. I made that one. The one that's in the picture is double crocheted and small. I also made a single crocheted small one and gave that for a present. I also made my sister a bigger double crocheted one, but it was bad because all the stuffing was just coming out because it was like 5mm hook, double knitting yarn, full of stuffing. But it was cute. If you look next to it in the picture, there's a little pin cushion, a ladybird pin cushion that I made with my hands for my gran, which was, she loved it again. So yeah, I suppose those are my, and then I guess we kind of move on. I've tried to be more ambitious. My cousin used to love My Little Pony, so I tried to make a reverse of My Little Pony. I thought it was really good at the time, and I can tell it's from a while ago because I posted it on Snapchat, and I deleted Snapchat start of year 8, so that's quite a long time ago. I also made a reversible, oh god, this is bad now, 2 disgraced YouTubers, I think. They might not be, but they were last time I checked. It was A Dream and A George Not Found reversible octopus. My friend loved it at the time. Obviously that didn't go down very well for the future, but we couldn't have predicted that, you know what I mean? I don't have a picture of it, because I'm the sort of person who will literally finish it. I'm walking out the door to give it you. Literally I finished it 10 minutes before we had to leave that day, I remember. And then I had to get dressed because I hadn't got dressed that day, so that was that. The next thing I made was this cactus. And the reason I made it is because I got a book for Christmas about some cactuses, and my sister loves cactuses. I don't know why, don't understand it, but she always liked them. So I was like, I'll make you a cactus. And it was cute. To be fair, it was cute. I made quite a few cactuses, but again, I gave them all away. I made another plant hangy thing for my friend. Gave that away, obviously. Another thing that I gave away, but made sure to take pictures of, was this lower bag, because it took me weeks and weeks and weeks, and I hated every second of making it. It was the hardest, probably the hardest thing I've made. It was the first time I think I properly used tapestry crochet, and it was the first time I'd ever lined a bag, and it was the first time I'd actually ever made a bag. So I made it for my teacher, my form tutor, who liked Taylor Swift. She still loves it, she still has it, which was really sweet of her to keep it all these years. And that actually reminds me, in year 7, I made my form tutor a little rainbow. It was like a rainbow circle, and then you folded it in half. And yeah, I gave that her. And then a few weeks ago, we were in a cover lesson in her class. We got moved to her class, and I saw it on the wall, and I was like, oh, I made that. And I could tell because it was this neon green that I bought for like 49p for like 100 grams at a charity shop, and I was like, oh, that's so sweet. And after I made that lover bag, I was more confident in my ability to crochet, so I crocheted a goose, which is when I actually started this. Not this, but my TikTok, which led to my Pinterest, which led to my Instagram, which led to this. The reason that it led to this is because I was confident I was amazing, and it was the hardest thing I'd made at that point. And it was immediately my profile picture, so that's why it's a goose now, if you're wondering. My very talented sister was like, I'll make you a digital art logo, and I was like, oh, I love that, thank you so much. And now that's my logo, and that's what I'm known as, hopefully. But the reason I started my business was because I started making axolotls. I made one for my friend, and then my friend's mum wanted one, and then another of my friends wanted one. So I was like, maybe the internet will want them. The internet didn't want them. I think I might have sold one, but the internet did not want them. I was like, okay, well, maybe I can keep going, you know. I'll make other things, like coasters. Made a lot of coasters in my time. A lot. I also made some key rings and some bags to take to a market, and I sold a grand total of 1 key ring and lost £7 that day. And an extra pound because I paid for the raffle and didn't win anything at the raffle either. It's like a double whammy, you know. But yeah, that was tough. That was definitely rough. I was like, what the hell is even the point of carrying on in this endeavour if there's just absolutely no point, because I'm not going to sell anything ever. And then I got a sale 2 days after that, I think, like in the same week, for 2 scrunchies. Which I was so happy. I've never been happier in my whole life. I actually celebrated with Greg's that cost more than the order was. So that tells you how much the order was, I guess. Yeah. I mean, since then I've made quite a few sales. In person I make like a lot of sales because like my teacher will be like, oh, can you make me this? And I'm like, yeah, sure. My head of year in year 11 had a doll that needed a dress, and she's like, could you make me a dress for the doll? And I'm like, sure. She's like, how much is it gonna cost? I'm like, I don't know. You're my head of year, you know, you're supposed to tell me what to do. I'm not supposed to ask you for, you know, money. But I did, and I think I paid like £5 or £10 or something like that. Not a lot, because she's my head of year. Anyway, and then that Christmas, after I started, I went mad. I wanted to make everyone things, and I was going to start making them in September, and it was all going to be done by, you know, the end of December. And then I just didn't start them until 2 weeks before Christmas, which meant my hands went through a lot. my sleep wasn't really happening. I made quite a lot of earrings. I don't have many pictures. My ears aren't pierced, so I never managed to get them taken in an ear. You know, but I think they were really cute. I gave them to my cousins and my mum and my gran, and they all like them. So that's all I need. And I also made a headband, a hat, and a bandana because I was trying things. They weren't going very well. I made a lot on the knitting machine recently. I've got like a little circular one. I've made some scarves. Last year for Christmas I made myself a Grinch hat and scarf set because Aldi did a green and I thought it looked exactly like the Grinch, so I was like, I'm gonna make myself, and I still wear it. I've worn it quite a lot of times. I also made myself a cat beanie, which is somewhere. I'd never worn it outside of that picture. I think I even took it off before I went for the walk. That's how much I didn't like it, but I'm so sure. I think I made my friend one and he loved it. So maybe it's just my taste. Maybe I don't like that. And then for that year at Christmas, this is the only present I could track down, and it was a fox I made for my granddad who likes foxes, if you can tell by all the foxes that are in the pictures from that bookshelf. It's cute, I think. And speaking about teachers asking me for things, the two penguin tapestries for children, boy and a girl, who like penguins, and I was like, yeah, sure, I can do that. What backgrounds do you want? I think she ordered 2 rainbow key rings as well, so I think it was about £20 for all of them, which for me was great, and for her she was like, Christmas sorted, I guess. And then the following year for my friend I made a Halloween present because I didn't like Christmas, and it was this massive blanket, and I loved that blanket so much, and I'll never recreate it because it took me so long, and I hated this every second of making it because I wasn't sure how much wool I had and I wanted it to be completely symmetrical. Not fun, not fun. And then I took a long break, and in January I made an Ewok pillow, and actually the top comment on this video of the Ewok pillow was, is that a lion? No, it's an Ewok. Thank you though. Anyway, my friend, he loved it. Yeah, it was really fun. It was horrible to make. It was probably, I have actually gone on limits, it's the hardest thing I've ever made. There were so many ends and I wasn't sure if it was going to be big enough, and it was a horrible process. I hated it, but it was over, and that's all I cared about. And then after that, my friend had another friend had a birthday, and I couldn't be bothered to make anything special, so I made this little cat and a little blanket. I mean, in hindsight, it's okay. At the time, I hated it and thought it was horrific, but my friend loved it, and I think they've still got it somewhere. So that's more than a lot of people. And now I'm going to be talking about some of my bigger projects, or projects that changed things for me. The first thing is this Heartstopper cardigan that I made during Heartstopper. It did really well on TikTok. Well, I say really well, I got like 900 views, so for a normal person that's not good, but for me, I was chuffed. And I had to make it because my uncle was coming over for a dinner and I didn't have anything to wear, so I was like, well, I might as well just binge Heartstopper season 2 that came out that day and make a cardigan that I could wear. So that's what I did. I made a cardigan in about 6 hours. Safe to say I didn't do anything else for the rest of the week because I couldn't move my hand or my arm. And then when the Barbie movie came out, do you remember when the Barbie movie came out? I was like, I'm gonna make myself a nice pink thing, nice pink jumper, my nice pink dress. I left it until 2 days before, so I made this nice purple bag, and that actually led me to make more bags, which led me to put them on a listing, which I haven't sold any yet, but the people I gifted them to have loved them. So if you're interested, my link is probably in the description if I can work out how to work out a description. This next piece, I absolutely love it. I made it for my grandpa. Oh my days, I love it so much. It's this beautiful blanket, and I was just using up all my scraps. I hated making it. I hate granny squares. I absolutely despise them. And I didn't want to sew in any ends, so I had to take it around to my granny to get those, sew them all in. she was quite happy about it because she was like, I don't care what you do, you're not cutting off like knots, you're not tying a knot and cutting the ends, I will do it for you. And I was like, go for it, that's fine. Yeah, but I loved it and I had loads of comments on it. It's actually my pinned video on TikTok because I don't know, I kind of, part of me wants someone to ask me to make them one just so I get to recreate it, because I mean, I don't know how much I charge. Probably took me about 20 minutes per granny square, and there's 6 times 30 granny squares, so I mean, I only charge myself £6 an hour, so that's £2 a granny square, so that's only £60 per granny square, but I have to buy all the wool, and I'd have to, sewing all the ends in would take that much time, you know, I just don't know. But hey, if you're interested, maybe message me or email me, and maybe we can have a chat about it. Another thing that I don't know if I liked it, I had to go to a birthday party as the first letter of your first name as something, and some other, so I was a Swiftie. So I made the cardigan, I made the hat, hated the cardigan, hated the hat. I mean, I left the cardigan too late, as I do, and the back panel, I started it, I was like, no, this is small, so I added 20 chains. And now guess what? It's 20 chains too big, so I need to do that again, but I don't want to do it again. You may ask why I don't just do things in advance. That's a silly question. No, the next thing I made is actually the most useful thing I think I made. I made this, we were going for a dark walk and it wasn't cold enough to wear a hat, but I knew my ears would be cold. So I literally grabbed a ball of wool on a hook. As we got in the car, we drove 30 minutes, I made myself a headband. My mum said, that's amazing, you should sell them. So I made loads, well, I made 6 or 7, and I tried to sell them. I actually did sell one, which was nice. I appreciate that. That was really cute. Another big thing that I make is flowers. I've made a lot of flowers in my time for Mother's Day, for my friend's mum's birthday, just in general to decorate the house. I hate making them, but I love gifting them because they're cute. And you know, I mean, I'll happily make more if people want to pay for them, but at that point I'm not there yet, so that's great. I'm out of pictures now. What else have I liked making? It's actually quite long. Oh, ducks. I've made a heck of a lot of ducks. I'm currently making ducks. I feel like I'll forever be making ducks. I've been ordered to make at least 42 ducks now, which is quite a lot. My friend, he started a duck business, and he was like, could you make some ducks? And I was like, yeah, so I made him 10 ducks. I charged him a £5. Each duck takes me half an hour. I charged him a £5. That's like £2. That's like not even £2 an hour, is it? I don't know. Sorry, I don't know. It's currently 11:10 at night when I'm filming this, so if I can't do the maths, it's because I finished my maths GCSE. That's all I care about at this point, I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, and then I got an order for 10 ducks from this lovely woman, and I made them, and now I've got an order for 22 ducks from another lovely woman. But not only are these 22 ducks, these are 22 different coloured ducks. Each one is their own individual colour, which is nice. It's fun. I love it. But then I've got to also make 22 different coloured ducks. And I'm also going to make her an extra one, so she's going to get 23 different coloured ducks. But that's fine, I guess. I guess I haven't really made anything else. I mean, in lockdown, when I was in year 6, my school did a production of The Jungle Book, and my entire class of 30 people were trees. So I made everyone 2 leaf bracelets, and then I made loads of like 2-meter long leaf decorations, crocheted, with a 4mm hook and green yarn. And they were actually really nice, but unfortunately that led to my teacher being like, would you be happy to teach some people? And I was like, oh, I'd love to teach people. So what she did was she gave me half an hour, took 5 people out of the class, and I went around and I'd show one person how to make a leaf. They'd chain the rest. Then they need help. But the next person would also need help, so I'd make them a leaf. Then they could chain the rest. So I was just making them leaves. My teacher said it was a great success. I'm like, I'm never crocheting ever again. And I didn't for about a year until it was lockdown. And you know, we all made the little things to put on your back of your ears so your mask didn't rub. I made quite a few of them. And then my mum's friend had a market where she had to have loads of like leaves. That was her like theme, I guess, like autumnal, fall, you know. So I made quite a few leaves. And then me and my mum were going to start crocheting together again because she didn't know how to do it, and then my mum stopped, so I kind of stopped but kind of didn't. Recently, actually, another thing, a lot of the time my parents, they don't get handmade Christmas presents because I leave it so late that I'm literally finishing presents for my grandparents the day of Christmas. So my mum sometimes gets a New Year's present, and then my dad's birthday's in March, and I have 11 other birthdays in March. So he often doesn't get anything then either. And then for Father's Day, I've got about 4 birthdays around Father's Day. So he doesn't get anything then. But this year, me and my mum came together, we made him a big blanket. My mum actually made 8 of the squares, which isn't, so you might not sound like a lot, but it took her like 40 minutes per square. And for me, it takes like, if it's just one plain colour, it takes me 5 minutes per square. Easy peasy easy. If you're changing colour, it takes me obviously a lot longer. But it was really pretty, and my dad did love it actually, he loved it, but I literally gave it him, none of the ends were weaved in, so I gave it him, he was like, oh thanks, this is lovely, and I took it back off him for a week to sew in all the ends. Bless him, I do feel a bit bad about that, but that's what he's there for. Yeah, I guess that's kind of all I got. That's not everything I've made in the last 9 years of my life, but it's some of the things, which is fine. I might do a separate video of everything I've ever sewed in my life, which isn't a lot, so I wouldn't get your hopes up, which is why I'm trying to speedrun some stuff at the moment. I've got 2 pairs of trousers on the go, 2 skirts on the go, and I need to make some shorts, and I need to make 3 dresses, and I also need to, oh, I feel like something else needs to, I've been making geese. I can show you a goose if you like, I've got one here. It's a goose. Anyway, yeah, I think that should probably be it. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. My next video will be either me sewing something or me completing an order, my duck order. I think that might be the next thing I do. Complete my duck order. So if you're interested, please hang around. If you're not interested in the crochet side, I'll also be doing some knitting and some sewing. And maybe some running. I know you wouldn't guess by looking at me, but I sometimes run very slowly. So yeah, if you're interested, check out another video if there are any, and I'll see you another day.